What's up, guys? My name is Fred and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about a new car that I just got. This is going to be a new car for the channel. I'm going to do a lot of content on this one. I hope that is the plan anyway, and I am super excited about this car. I have wanted one of these literally since high school, and high school was quite a long time ago for me, so I've been wanting one of these for a very long time. This is one of them JDM icon cars for me. I can't say it was a poster car. I never had a poster, but if I could have got my hands on a poster, I would have had a poster on my wall of this car. So super stoked to find this locally too. I've been looking for one of these for, casually looking for one of these for a very long time, and sort of intensely looking for one over this past weekend, and found a few that were kind of in rough shape and were a long ways away, and the price were kind of high, but I was considering all these different options, like wrecked ones and ones that needed motor work, non-turbo versions, which I would then turbocharge, automatic versions, which I would then swap over to 5-speed or whatever. So I was looking at all my options, and then Monday morning, this one popped up on Facebook Marketplace, just about 20 minutes from my house, and it had all the right options and features. It was a good color, and the price was good. It was within the ballpark. I couldn't believe it just popped up right after spending a whole weekend of looking for these things. So that felt really cool to have that happen and have one so close and fit all my criteria. So I called the guy, or messaged him immediately, and went to look at it that evening as soon as he got off work, and I bought it. So here's the car. I'm going to flip the camera around here real quick. Let me get on this side here. Okay, so this is a 1991 Nissan 300zx. It is the twin turbo model, and it does have the 5-speed transmission. So it's got all the right features and options. It is a sunroof car. Everybody knows the slick top is hard to find, so this is the much more common sunroof one, which is perfectly fine with me. I love the sunroof, so, or the T-tops rather. So it's a T-top car, I mean to say. So what else? Yeah, 91 Nissan 300zx, twin turbo, 5-speed. It's a 2+0, so just a 2-seater, which was absolutely a must for me. I didn't want a 2+2. I wanted the short wheelbase, and that's what this one is. And the other criteria that I had for this car was I absolutely wanted a good condition interior, and I preferred a charcoal interior. And but the main thing was a good condition, complete interior that had not been all screwed with aftermarket stuff everywhere, or missing panels and parts and stuff. So this car definitely fit the bill as far as interior goes. It's definitely not perfect, but I think you would agree that for a 30-year-old car, this interior is mostly complete and all in all in a really good condition. It does have some wear in all the usual spots that you would expect it, including the seats. This is probably the worst part right here. So this seat will get replaced. Steering wheel's got some scuffs and scratches like you would imagine. And then there's somebody has done something weird here. They literally glued this fog light button down. It's like actually epoxy down. It doesn't even come back, so I don't know who did that or what they were thinking. So I can replace that switch. The only thing really missing is the T-top shades. They're not with the car, so I'll have to pick up a pair of those because I really do like to have the shades installed when I'm driving. Other than that, yeah, she's basically all here. It comes with these what are they, phase 2 motor trend floor mats, which obviously are not original and they don't look original, but I like them. I think they look pretty cool. And it comes with the one in the back there as well. And what else? So we got a shift knob here. It's a factory shifter, but the guy put on this Concept Z Performance shift knob, which is okay. It did come with a factory shift knob as well, but this one was installed, and it's all right. I like it. It's pretty cool. I may put the factory one back on and have it recovered. It came with this. This is a new leather shift boot and a new e-brake shift boot, so that's cool. I'm sure those were in bad shape before. They always wear out, so nice to have that. And yeah, it came with an aftermarket Alpine radio with Bluetooth, which works, so that's pretty cool. I'll leave that. But other than that, yeah, it's just a 300zx twin turbo interior, just like you want it. Nothing really dumb done to it. Nothing's been repainted. There's no gauges hanging off the A-pillar. Yeah, it's exactly what I wanted. Not in perfect shape, but it's in very good shape. All this stuff here needs cleaned. It looks like it's just literally just never been cleaned is what it looks like. It's all just kind of dirty, which is no problem for me. I can take all that apart, power wash it, and get it all looking good again. I like doing that kind of work. Little things like this door handle right here, completely faded out, so that's got to come off and then get repainted, sanded and painted. But again, no problem for me. I do little projects like that to all my cars, so it's kind of part of the fun of it for me, is restoring some of that stuff. Sunroof shades are really kind of faded out. I don't know if it'll show on camera, but since there's been no T-top shades in this car, the sun has really poured in here and faded out these edges. I don't think it's going to show on camera that well, but they're just kind of dried out and discolored, not really looking the color that I think they should look. You can kind of see it along here. So yeah, I'm just kind of nitpicking. Yeah, you can definitely see the color change right here where it's faded down here. So I'm definitely nitpicking there, but you know, I want this thing to be nice, so I'm going to make it nice. So I'm going to try to fix all those little things and get them as good as I can get them. I do want a cloth interior. I'm not a big fan of leather. These seats are comfortable, but I don't like leather on daily drivers all that much. So I want to try some cloth seats. And I've got a guy locally who thinks he may have a pair he's going to look and see in storage. So I might be switching these seats out for cloth. Let's pop the hood and take a look under there. Alright, so here we go with the engine bay view. Also my favorite view of the car, dead on from the front. I just think it looks sick. It's so wide. So everything in here is pretty well what you would expect. Nothing's been messed with too much, but there have been some updates here and there. The guy who I bought this from, a local guy, he was really into this car and wanted to do a whole lot of stuff to it. And he bought a whole bunch of parts for it, maintenance type stuff to update little issues here and there. And didn't get around to installing most of it, so most of it came to me in boxes, but you can see some of the stuff that he did install. He's got the Z1 intercooler pipes right here, silicone pipes, which are actually really nice, and some other stuff which you probably can't readily see, but he told me that he did, or somebody before him may have done. But he did these crossover seals, and then I believe the injector pigtails have been replaced and the injectors have been updated. So that's been done. I think the knock sensor's been replaced back here, I believe, just by looking at it. I look down here and I can see both O2 sensors had been replaced. They were kind of really clean looking and shiny. So somebody's done that job before. Fuel filter's been done, of course, as you would imagine. 120,000 mile timing belt service has not been done as far as he knew, so he had bought that and included it with the purchase of the car. So it came in my box of parts, which is awesome because that is a pretty expensive kit. It's the whole timing belt, the tensioner, the water pump, all the gaskets, a whole bunch of stuff. Came with all sorts of dress-up bolts and various things. So that's the engine bay. Looks pretty standard and stock. One really great thing about this car, and one thing that I'm very particular about when I go to buy a car, is the condition of the radiator support and the condition of the aprons and the inner fenders and the shock towers. I always inspect them really closely for signs of collision damage. I've got a history in collision damage repair and fixing wrecked and rebuilt cars, so I kind of know what to look for as far as signs of previous damage, so I'm always looking for that kind of stuff, and I'm always trying to buy cars that obviously don't have previous damage. And this one checked out as far as I could see. I crawled all over it when I bought it, up and down and underneath it as much as I could, and everything's just really straight on this car. So I guess we can talk about the condition of the outside at this point. I don't know how well this is going to show on camera. I feel like the camera probably makes it look better than it is in most cases, and I think that's the case right now. The truth is, the exterior of this car is the worst part. The paint is in really fairly bad shape. It's multiple different colors of red on different parts of the car. Some parts the clear coat is peeling off real bad, like right here on the fender, for example. Clear coat's really gone right there. Some of the trim is being worn away or faded off, or whatever you want to call that. So pretty typical stuff you see for a Z that's been stored outside, been under the sun and the rain and everything. The spoiler here has got the typical spoiler rot that all the twin turbos seem to get. over time they just bubble up and rot from the inside out. So that spoiler's got to come off and get replaced. But none of that really bothered me that bad, because the main thing I was looking for was a really straight car. And as far as I could tell, this thing is basically straight as an arrow. All the body lines are really square and straight and clean and tight. Yeah, it's got a few dents and dings here and there, just minor door ding type stuff. That's no big deal. I just wanted a car that was structurally sound, a car where the bones are like really good. If the paint's bad, that can be fixed easy, but if the whole car's been tweaked or got Bondo or questionable collision repair somewhere, that is really hard to fix, and it's just a downer in my book. So I wanted something that was structurally really good, and this car fit the bill as far as that goes, for sure. As far as these wheels go, I hope you guys know that I would never run something like this. These wheels are atrocious. I don't even know what brand they are or care. They just came with the car. The tires are actually in really good shape, but these wheels are horrendous, so that's going to be one of the first things I'm going to want to get rid of. But I'm not going to make any moves there until I'm really sure on what look I want for this car. And I want to make sure I don't put too much wheel and tire on it, because my goals for this car, my plan for this car, is for this thing to be the ultimate daily driver sports car for myself. I want this to be the one car out of my collection that I drive the most. So I got to be careful about the mods I do. I want to make sure I don't over mod the car or do any mods that really hurt the comfort or drivability of it, or do any mods that, for example, would make me not want to drive it in certain situations, like drive it in the rain, drive it in the snow, park it in certain parts of town. If the wheels are too expensive, I'd be concerned about getting them stolen, things like that. I want to be careful about, because I really want this car to be, like I said, a daily driver and an all-season car. I want to be able to drive this thing 365 days a year, and I want it to be comfortable for me and my passenger. Whoever I have with me, I want them to feel like they're riding in a nice modern car that's comfortable, not some sort of an over-modified beast like some of my other cars have become. So that is going to be the theme of this build. We're going to make it fun, we're going to make it fast, and we're going to make it perform really good, but we're going to make it really comfortable and really usable in day-to-day situations. Driving, whether that be on a long road trip down the freeway, or whether that be around town, or carving back roads, wherever we want to take it, I want to be able to take it there and feel like it's at home and comfortable. And it's so easy to lose that on these project cars that I do. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, where you over modify things and you're excited about the project, and maybe you put coilovers on it that are a little too stiff, and you're like, that's okay, not a big deal, they're a little too stiff, but I can live with it. But then you put a clutch in the car and you're like, that clutch is a little too stiff, that's okay, I can live with it, it's not too big a deal. And then you put turbos on the car that are a little too big and they're a little too laggy, and you're like, they're a little too laggy, but that's okay, I can live with it, it's not that big a deal. Before long, you've got 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of these modifications. Each one came with its own little downside, and you add them all up, and together it produces a car that just really doesn't work that great anymore, and sadly just isn't that fun to drive. So I'm definitely guilty of doing that, and so I'm not knocking that. I've done it. I'm sure I'll do it again in the future, but on this particular project, I'm fighting hard to make this thing an all-arounder and make it just work really well and be really fun to drive. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. I hope you guys are excited about this project as I am, or at least as excited about following along and watching it. Got a lot of plans for it. I'm going to be doing suspension very soon. Going to be doing clutch and shifter very soon. Going to be building a full exhaust system for it. Definitely going to be doing a standalone ECU and upgrading the fuel system. Not sure what else we'll do. Maybe intercoolers, and just kind of go from there. I'm also going to be doing some drag racing footage of this car, drag racing testing, and I have a couple of different dynos really close within driving distance here. So we're going to be doing some before and after dynos. I'm really excited to get this car on the dyno just as it sits today and get a baseline for the entire project. And as soon as the track opens up here in the spring, we'll take it to Mocan Dragway and we'll get some baseline drag strip runs and see where we're starting at on that. My goal for this project right now, other than just keeping it very daily drivable and very comfortable, my specific performance goal for this car is going to be to hit 400 horsepower with this, and I want to do that on 91 octane fuel. I have E85 available, but it's not very convenient for me. It's about 20 minutes away from here, and it's out of the way for me to go get it. So I do use that on one of my other cars, but on this particular car I want to keep it on 91 octane, which is the best I have available at the pumps here. So on 91 octane I want to do 400 at the wheels if that's possible, and I want to do that on stock turbos, and in fact I want to do that on as many stock parts as I can. I want to try to do the minimum amount of modifications to this car necessary to produce that goal. I'm not trying to be cheap or cut any corners. I just think that it should be pretty easy to hit that goal with this car on the stock turbos, and maybe probably on the stock intercoolers. To be honest with you, I don't really know what this car requires to hit that goal, but I'm going to do some research and find out. And I'm sure some of you guys watching this will know the answer to that, and if you do, I would appreciate you letting me know down below, or shoot me a message and clue me in as to what these cars take to hit those kinds of numbers. Pretty sure I'm going to need a clutch, and the shifter feels really bad, so I'm going to put a short shifter in there and fix the shifter bushing issue. But as far as what this car takes to make 400 to the tire, you guys let me know. And keep in mind, I want to do that on 91 octane, and I want to do it on stock turbos, and with the minimum mods possible or minimum necessary. So those are kind of the goals. I don't have any drag strip goals. This is not going to be a drag car, although we'll drag race it some. But you know, if this thing ran in the 12s, that would be, I think, really probably excellent. Like if it ran a mid 12 on some kind of a decent tire, I think that would be a good performance goal for it. So yeah, that kind of updates you on what I'm thinking and what I want out of it as far as performance. Again, let me know if you guys know down below what it takes to do about 400 to the tire on a Z32. So this is going to be more or less a full build, full project with the theme of being a really good daily driver and a really good all-arounder. So if you guys are into that, just subscribe to the channel here and let me know down below what you'd like to see as far as content on this car. Let me know what you'd like to see as far as modifications. I'll take that into consideration. And let me know if you have any questions, and give this video a thumbs up if you're into this, and I will see you guys on the next one.